This right here is the best spot to get legendaries in the entire game for Diablo 4. I mean, just look at how many exist right there. And I get asked all the time, what's the best way to get legendary items in the game or aspects? You could even get a couple uniques here, but this is mostly just covering the legendaries. So this is going to be for Diablo 4 Season 2. So starting right off, let's go over the area. We'll go in the mechanic and how you can actually continuously farm these blood harvests. So starting right off, where are these areas? Is this some special like loot cave where it's like the special area? So this area actually does rotate on the map, and it is in this green area. So these areas every hour will rotate. And what you do ideally want to do is go to these areas, get blood lures so you can start opening them up. What's cool with this mechanic though is you don't have to be the one that opens it up. Your party can open it up, and other people in the world can open up. You may have actually seen some people go AFK in these areas, and that is because anyone that opens these up, well, that's how you get all of these legendaries. And you can see just in a few minutes, like this is in like a minute, and we just got like 10 plus legendaries. And you can keep on doing this again and again if you rotate your party properly. And I'll kind of explain how to do it properly. You can actually get more than 4 party members basically for the rota runs. But you go to these areas, and if it's your first time, if you're like level 1, ideally you actually want to be a little bit higher in terms of levels, not only so you can kill things faster, but on top of that, there is in the game, this is officially, okay? So once you're level 15, if you kill a treasure goblin, it will drop a legendary item 100% of the time. Now, obviously, we're not really worried about treasure goblins, but there could be something tied into specifically getting certain thresholds for breakpoints for levels. I'm not sure what the official like in-game code is, but I know in Diablo 3, there are certain levels where if you're not a certain level, like this item cannot drop. So just keep that in mind when you are doing this. If you're expecting to get all of these legendaries like level 1, you may need to be a certain level. Again, I don't know what the official number is, but my guess is if you're like under like level 15, you're probably not going to get as many legendaries in the game, and that's because maybe certain things don't drop. I don't know if that's true with certain aspects in the game, but I definitely noticed when you are a lower level, there's a lot less chance to get legendaries. But nonetheless, go to this area, and you want to ideally do this in like a rota group. You can see I'm still salvaging certain things over here, and it still takes some time. Eventually I just start throwing things on the ground because I'm just like, it's just not even worth it. And that's how we stacked up all those items, even though I've been salvaging a bunch here as well. But what you want to do is you want to go to this area and do the blood harvest. So that will cost for 3 of these little areas here. You'll see on the map, let me go ahead and zoom in. So you'll see on the map, there is this little like green skull thing. You want to go to that area, and there's going to be these little 3 altars. You're going to put in 50 blood lures on each one. So it requires 150 in total, and you can put one in, your party members can put one in, and other people can put one in. It doesn't matter who puts it in, but you'll see that these will cost 50. So it requires you to have blood lures. You can see over in the top right, I have 411, and basically I'm waiting for everyone to come back. This was done on my live stream, so like some people were like rotating out, and we actually got a party that was bigger than 4. And how we do that is you party up with party A. Okay, so this is actually very important to explain, because I'm going to explain how we can kind of rotate these out and we can get a lot more runs than normal, because it's kind of different than a Duriel rota if you want to do a party 8 or even higher than that. So how it works in Diablo 4 is as long as there's one person in that instance from a party, they can all go back to that same instance. So what this means is if you happen to have 8 people, let's use this for example because it'd be easier. So if there's 4 people from team A, 4 people from team B, how do you get those people to actually see each other? So you have one person from each party actually party up. So then there's 3 people on team A, 3 people on team B, and then you'd have team C as 2 people. But what you do is you just need those people to exist there, and then they can unparty and then start inviting each other. And then once they come together, as long as one person from each party is always in that instance, you will always go back to the same instance. So you can have basically more than 4 players. That's how you get around. You can see I'm putting in the blood lures over here. I'm telling everyone, hey, we're starting it up over here. Ideally, you try to make sure everyone is there before starting it, but there is like a 2-minute timer basically before the legendaries drop. So what you do is you put these in, and then a bunch of waves of monsters come in, and if there's any like elites and bosses, they almost always drop a bunch of legendary items. So that's location, and this area will rotate on the map. Also, while you're doing this, there are some objectives that you can complete for the Grim Favors, so it also will be a really good method to actually acquire gold in the game. And also to get your Grim Favors done, also it will give you glyphs if you are at least level 50, so that's great. But this is the best area, and every hour this may rotate, but there's always going to be this little green statue. So now that we know the basics of it, let's go ahead and go into the more advanced ones. So start right off. the most important thing is finding a party for this. Obviously, you guys can always come to my live streams, but there's also Discord. So if you guys are watching my live streams, I'm usually like, hey, if anyone wants to come in, you guys are welcome in. I don't care if you have the bloodlords or not. I'm just going to go ahead and open them up. If people have it, that's great. But there is groups for this. So the best source is to use the Diablo 4 Sanctuary Discord. There are Blizzard community members in here, but basically it is the best method. So what you want to do is you want to go just Google Diablo 4 Sanctuary Discord. It's the one that has like almost like 500,000 members. So you join it, and then basically in the very beginning, it'll ask you if you're hardcore, softcore, season, non-season. You just check it, and then you want to go into where it says softcore season 2, and you want to look at where it says softcore LFG others. And then you want to find anyone's post over here, and this was taken like literally right now, you can see, where it says LFG World Tier 4 Blood Harvest. Don't do these in World Tier 3, by the way. This is ideally best in World Tier 4 because you want ancestral items anyways, right? But you want to go and you want to find other people that want to do this as well. And you don't stop at 4, okay? This is the key thing. You want to go beyond 4. 8 is usually what I would consider pretty good, but you can see we're just doing these roto runs again and again. And again, if you guys want to go to my live stream, I also do these runs. So if I'm doing it, by all means, come on in and you can go ahead and do so. And if you need a leveling guide to get you to the point where you can actually do this, I'm going to go ahead and also link down below, because I mentioned that you don't really want to do this at like level 1, because one, you're not going to have the bloodlords to do it, and it's pretty easy to get these bloodlords. But like, if you need a way to level up, just watch this gameplay right here. It's so easy this season to level up. And again, that's why I was mentioning, like, you do want to be at least a certain level. Again, maybe at least level 15 would be good, but you can just get hemomancy and you can literally like one-shot most of the things. Like, look at that, we just one-shot the whole screen simply because we had one of the vampiric powers. And you may want to swap up your build, but you can see I'm starting to pile things up. We're only like what, 7 minutes in this video, and I'm starting to pile these legendaries. I was also going back into town and salvaging. So if you open these up really fast, what happens is you can keep on opening them up, but eventually there's going to be too many items on the ground and it's going to start making it kind of difficult to pick things up. So ideally, try not to throw items in the ground. I'm going to give you guys some bonus tips just so groups won't be like, what the heck is this kid doing? Don't throw your yellow items in the middle of this area. Go off to the side and start throwing off items if you want to drop items. The reason why is anyone can pick up the yellow items if they are in your party, and it's going to get really annoying. So don't do that. If they're the legendaries, though, you can throw them on the ground, but the thing is that it might get kind of in the way. That's why I started making a pile of legendaries in the corner over there. And just as a heads up, if you do leave the game, you will not be able to get those legendaries. But the thing is that I'm looking at the item and I'm seeing, okay, is it a good item or not? If it's a bad item, I'm just throwing it on the ground. This way I don't have to sit there, channel, go back to town, and then come back and do it again and again. But yeah, don't throw your yellow items in the middle. It will piss people off, okay? So just make a separate pile for yellows, or you can just grab all the yellows and just salvage them. But this is the best method for legendaries, but also getting yellow ancestral piece of gear can be the best in slot as well. I found a couple good rings yesterday while we were doing some blood harvest rota. So there it is, guys. That is the best method for the legendary farm in season 2, and I'll link the other video if you are interested, maybe like leveling up. But yeah, this area is by far the best. So go to any Discord. There could be lots of different Discord groups, but Sanctuary is the one I recommend. And again, you want to look for people that are doing LFG Blood Harvest Rota runs. That's what you want. Anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn that bell if you want to see more Diablo guides in the future. See you in the next one. Peace.